Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Shelby on Safari, the place where we love to talk all things animals and pop culture. I am Shelby. I'm a wild animal biologist who's also a Pokemon trainer, and I love doing animal and pop culture comparisons from the amazing world of superheroes like Loki. But that's for another live stream. How excited I am for that series. No spoilers here, my friends. But of course, the world of Pokemon and seeing just how similar, or maybe not, the animals of our world are to the world of Pokemon, and even introducing you to some animals that are incredible and should be like Pokemon. In fact, I think there's a few species that they need to create in Pokemon, but it looks like the franchise is going strong, so there's still hope for a proper cheetah Pokemon. I'll keeping my fingers and toes crossed. I am waiting for Senior Maui, though, to pop in. I kept the door propped just slightly open so he could push in because, as we all know, Maui does love to come on in and say hi. Speaking of saying hi, if you are watching this, let me know in the comments below. It's always nice to see some familiar friends like my buddy Grace and Alice are in the chat. Or if you're watching later on, let me know as well because it's nice to see that friends are checking this out. So, friends, tonight, this event that's upcoming in Pokemon Go, I thought it was a joke at first. Well, because it's Bidoof. Yeah, Bidoof. Here's the topic. Oh, hello, Crazy LV. Yo, 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 how's it going? Oh, we're going to be talking a rodent of a different kind. My friend Crazy LV, she certainly loves her hairs, and Luna Lovegood. Oh, hello, William. Nice to see you. Pleasure as always. So, friends, we are going into the world of Bidoof because in Pokemon Go, we are having a Bidoof Bonanza. I believe it's called Bidoof Breakout, but I'm going to call it Bidoof Bonanza because it's a lot more fun to say. In tonight's live stream, we're going to go into 3 different aspects of this. First off, I'm going to tell you what to expect with the Bidoof Bonanza Breakout. And then later on, I'll be sharing some insight into Bidoof as a Pokemon. Gosh, this is going to be such a fun live stream saying Bidoof all the time because it's actually quite fun to say. And then in the end, I'll be introducing you to an animal that I think is like Bidoof. Now, it's a little bit out there, as a lot of you know, if you are currently subscribed to the channel, which I encourage you, if you haven't already, do subscribe. In fact, I'm going to be cheeky and put up my cool little bear because, as we know, over the progression of having this channel, I learn something new every live stream. And so there it is. Join to subscribe, join to click, whatever you do, friends, because you could be my 700 subscriber. Jiminy Crickets, 700. Just feels like yesterday I was celebrating 50. Woohoo! And 700. Here we go. All right, friends. So first up, Bidoof Breakout. It's happening. It's coming in Pokemon Go. It's no surprise because Bidoof has been in the games for a while, but it's surprising that they're having a whole event dedicated to this Pokemon. So it is from Friday, June 25th at 10 a.m. local time to Thursday, July 18th at 18th. Thursday, July 1st at 8 p.m. So it's quite a long Bidoof weekend. So Bidoof will be appearing more often in the wild. To what extent, I don't know. But given the promotional footage, such as this, I'm a bit concerned seeing Bidoof, a lot of Bidoofs all the time. It's going to be interesting. But the exciting thing is, of course, for my shiny hunting friends, shiny Bidoof is going to be released. So you got a chance at getting a shiny Bidoof. Typically, when we have releases of shinies in events like this, I do okay. I don't know. Let me know how you guys do. Obviously, Community Day is a completely different story. Community Day shinies are out like candy. They're everywhere. But in these events, I typically don't do as well. I'm not desperately seeking a shiny Bidoof, but I wouldn't say no to one. But the really exciting thing about this event, other than, Bidoof, the thing I'm more looking forward to is these special bonuses. So it's quite crazy. Well, as many of you know, Bidoof knows quite a few HMs. It's known as an HM slave in the games, but we'll get to that in a bit. But during this event for a span of roughly 2 days, I think I keep glitching. Apologies for the internet. We know my internet is rubbish here. Apologies for that. It's also quite windy out today. It's been absolutely gnarly weather. It certainly doesn't feel like summer. But this is not a rant about British weather. No. Okay, so for the first chunk of the event, you'll be able to catch Bidoof that knows Shadow Ball. But more importantly, friends, get 2 times catch XP, which is really cool if you're slaving away trying to get to the next level. I really need that XP. As if it couldn't get any better from like Friday at 10 a.m. to Saturday at midnight, having 2 times catch XP. The next set of 2 days, from Sunday at midnight, well, Sunday 12 a.m. to Monday evening, Bidoof will know Thunderbolt. Yeah, cool, whatever. It knows a cool move. But you get 3 times catch XP. And then for the last chunk, from Tuesday at 12 a.m. until Wednesday at 11:59 p.m., Bidoof will know Ice Beam. But here we go, guys. Here's the big bonanza. 4 times XP. Woo! Oh, that's going to be good. That's going to get me through the ranks if I remember to catch. And I think my biggest tip for you, Bidoof or Bidoof? Bidoof. Ooh. That is the real question, Grace. That is the real question, friends. Bidoof or Bidoof? I guess it depends how you say it. Potato, potato? Let me know what you guys think. How you would pronounce it. Bidoof? Bidoof? It depends if you're running a live stream and have to say it for an hour, Grace. Over the course of this live stream, I will try to pronounce it in both variations for you, friends. I do try, actually, tangent time. As you know, what are we, 7 minutes in and already off on a tangent? I, here in the UK, have been learning to pronounce things differently. There are a few words, though, to which I will not yield my California accent to, one of which is aluminum, and the other is chamomile. I'm not going to be able to say those. I know this is controversial. This is a hot take, but aluminum. It will hurt to pronounce it otherwise. Leicester Square. Okay, I can say Leicester Square. I'm not going to say Leicester Square. How else would you say Leicester Square? I don't know. But yeah. Oh, Leicester Square. Chamomile. Yeah, chamomile is one. Chamomile, aluminum. Dear, if you're listening, what are some of the other words I say funny? Egg, apparently. Oh, good. Now we get me saying egg on the internet for everyone to see and replay later. Thanks. I shouldn't have asked the off screen. I asked Maui. Maui knows what words I say differently. Okay, anyways, but soup, I say soup. Batman soup. Oh, okay, that's a long shot. Okay, friends, apparently if you go back into the What Real Animal is Like Batman, the Bat video that I did with Buddy Cole from Animal Education with Cole Shirk. I'll put a link to it in the description down below. Apparently, Batman, dear, the internet is quite glitchy. Would you mind moving the thing, Maui? If you don't mind, sorry. But apparently in the Batman video, there's a mulligatawny. Or there's a special soup that, yes, apparently just like I did then. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I'd never heard of that soup before until I read it in the comic, and I'm like, mulligatawny? Yeah, this is embarrassing. Produce. Oh yes, that's right. Produce, yard, egg. Oh gosh. Okay, I opened up a can of worms. All right, friends, it's Bidoof. Okay, Bidoof. I'm going to Bidoof you one. Oh, that kind of goes quite well. All right, where were we? All right, so with Bidoof, for the Bidoof Bonanza Bohemian Rhapsody breakout that we are talking about with Pokemon Go, among other things, you can evolve Bidoof to Bibarel, or whatever, however you want to say it. Oh God, 10 minutes in and I'm already gone. Here we go. That knows Hyper Beam. Yeah, Hyper Beam. Quite an impressive move. Come on, let's get on with the show. Oh yeah, Shiny Bidoof. I gotta mention these things. I feel bad. I am looking forward to this event because of the 4 times catch XP. But Bidoof is very interesting of a Pokemon, as we'll see in part 2 if we get there. If I don't get lost down the produce aisle looking for aluminium. Ugh, see, it doesn't feel natural. Aluminium. So many syllables. Shorten it down, guys. Aluminum. It's fine. Or cripes, as I've recently learned. That's my new favorite word, cripes. It's so fun to say. Yes. All right. So my top tips really quick before we go on into learning more about Bidoof the Pokemon. You got to get your lucky eggs. Ugh, there we go. Here it comes. Here goes the eggs. Yeah, apparently I say it funny. Woohoo! Mazel tov. So lucky eggs, obviously they help with your XP. As we've talked about, you get a lot of XP over the course of this event, from 2 to 3 to 4 at the end. I recommend saving your XP or your lucky eggs for when you can take advantage, sit down, put on a good show, maybe watch Loki on Disney Plus, which is not a sponsor of Shelby on Safari, but I'd happily sit there and watch Loki on Disney Plus. Oh, it's such a good show. William, if you're watching this, last time we spoke, you haven't actually started watching Loki, and I was very disappointed. Please get on that and watch Loki. It is fabulous. Yes, yeah, sit in front of a TV, watch something, but catch as many things as you can. Make the most of your lucky egg with this event, especially if you're trying to get through the levels. It's going to be super duper important and help you out and hopefully get you to the next level, because yeah, they ask for a lot, millions and millions of experience points. Speaking of that, to help you with your lucky eggs, I don't know how y'all are with your excellent curveball throws and whatnot, but I think Bidoof is going to be a nice opportunity to get some good, excellent curveball throws in. There's plenty of videos on YouTube. You can use my trick that I showed you guys in a few live streams, where you press and hold the Pokeballs over to the side, and then you toss the ball, and then the little runaway icon will pop up and click to leave the screen. And if you are lucky, you might have caught it, and it will save you time of all the faff of seeing the ball wiggle and things like that. Go back to previous videos. I can't remember which one it was. Actually, I think it might have been Fletchling, the Fletchling video for Fletchling Community Day, to see my little trick for that. And then the last but not least one, I always forget to Mega Evolve a relevant Pokemon, and with Bidoof, it's a normal type. So either Pidgeot or Lopunny, Mega Evolve one of them, so then you get the extra candies. There we go. We made it through Bidoof Breakout, friends. Whew! Only one tangent. Not too bad. I don't say. Oh, I still have the ticker going. I feel like I'm a new screen. Here, I'll hide that. There we go, friends. So, what's going on? The Bidoof is just staring into space in the corner. Yeah, it feels like me staring in the corner. Should we change the screen? There we go. I always forget. Multitasking. Yeah, so look at that. They look pretty chill, these Bidoof. And how do I say this? It seems that Bidoof is the brunt of many jokes. And in fact, I was chatting with my friend Grace from Honest Bee by G, which who brought up, oh, you're very kind, saying I'm perfect in every way. No, I'm not Mary Poppins. Mary Poppins, or Yondu, for that matter. Shout out to Yondu from Guardians. Mary Poppins, y'all. Caribbean. Yeah, I do say Caribbean. Sorry, I'm catching up in the comments, guys. Maybe I will watch this Loki. I'm going to show this comment so everybody can see. Yes, we're going to hold Bill. Oh, you shortened it from William to Bill. That's very kind of you. Oh, and Crazy LV, yeah, Bidoof staring into space. Yeah, they do often stare into space. Maybe they're pondering very deep thoughts. I don't know. Do you guys do that? I feel whenever I'm trying to be dramatic and I have a thought, sometimes, whether I'm purposely being dramatic or not, I do look off into the distance. Yeah. Oh, yes, Kathy's here. Hi, Kathy. Believe it's Katie, but who am I to correct? All right, friends. So we made it through part 1. We are now going into part 2, the part y'all been waiting for, Bidoof. What is Bidoof? Bidoof, however you pronounce it, whatever it is. It is a interesting Pokemon, to say the least. There they are. Yep, so Pokemon Go's bringing it. Shameless plug time, because I was reminded by a few of my friends to plug this even more so. So yeah, you can find me here, and here. What else? Yeah, I'm very active on Instagram. Out of those, that's why it's at the top. That followed by Facebook, and then Clubhouse, and then Twitter at the bottom. So that's an order of frequency of appearances. I pointed in the wrong direction. There it is. I can do this. There we go. That's where you can find me. Most of the time, it's pictures of cats and flowers. Apparently, I was looking through my Instagram today, just saying, oh, what have I been posting lately to, have a nostalgic feel to my Instagram page? It's a lot of flowers. Apologies, guys. I'm not a flowery person. As you know, I'm a wild animal biologist. There's not a lot of wild animals on there lately. It's been all flowers. So that's because I've been doing 30 Days Wild with the Wildlife Trust, and it's been fantastic and getting me to really focus on what's around me and taking lots of cool pictures. I got to go to Burford, or Burford, if we're going to be picking on how I pronounce things, in the Cotswolds the other day. That was very exciting. In fact, rumor has it, I saw a very famous YouTuber, which I will say, it's from Harry's Garage. And I was excited to see Harry because of his YouTube setup in his car. I was excited. I didn't really know who he was. Apologies, Harry, if you're watching this. I didn't know who you were. I still don't really know who you are, but I liked your setup in your car because he's a car dude. And but what I liked even more was his fans running down the high street. It was so cute. They were so excited. And if there's one thing I love, it's seeing people who are passionate about things be passionate about those things. And yeah, they were just happened to be passionate about Harry. And Matt Watson of CarWow fame. Oh, I saw him too. That's what Bill said. Saw him. But yeah, so that's exciting. So, speaking of staring into the distance, Crazy LV, in the anime, Bidoof has made quite a few appearances. I should say that before we dive into a bit more about Bidoof and the real-life animal that I think is like Bidoof, the connecting theme that I'm going for, friends, is almost that they are misnamed. Their names really don't do them justice. And with Bidoof, it could be suggested that their name comes from a mix of beaver and doofus, which I'm going to argue to you friends tonight that is not really the case. I don't think Bidoof is either of those things. And as we'll see later on, the animal that I'll be introducing you to also has a name that doesn't quite represent it quite well. So that is very exciting. What do you eat? Well, you see them eat a lot of foraging things. They probably are more herbivorous, but that's very interesting you bring that up, Alice, because the one thing that stands out quite clearly is their teeth, which is nice because they are rodents. They're actually known as the plump mouse Pokemon, which I thought was interesting because I didn't really think of them as quite mousy. Yes, Crazy LV is on the case. Yes, is the animal similar to a Bidoof, a beaver, or a badger maybe? Ooh, I really should do a video on the badgers. Again, another tangent. Apologies, friends. Crazy LV reminded me. It was suggested to me earlier on by my friend who's probably not watching this live stream, but I will say it anyways. For a future video for Shelby on Safari, there is a staple of British, and Emma, if you want to attest to this, and Alice and Katie as well, the wind in the willows. I am not familiar with this staple of British upbringing, whether it be in the TV form or whatnot. The only way that I'm slightly familiar with it is there's a ride at Disneyland called Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, in which Mr. Toad of Toad Hall, you drive in his car, he's a crazy driver, and you actually get in trouble and you go to hell, of all things. It's quite terrifying. It's terrifying of a ride, but it's quite fun and it's quite jerky and you're like, woo, woo, woo. Anyways, it was relatively recently I realized that was connected to Wind in the Willows, and so I think I might do, speaking of the badger, I believe there's badger and Wind in the Willows. I might do a comparison because I love pop culture. Maybe I could watch Wind in the Willows for the first time and it could be like, Shelby reacts to. But yes. Oh, it's such a cute story. Oh, well, I'll have to check it out because I like cute stories. So yeah. And Katie says it's a proper book. Okay, so it'll be watch the TV show, watch a movie, and then read the book as well. I'll have to get on that because yeah, got to give it a try. So yes, you are on the right track, Crazy LV. It is similar. So Bidoof is the plump mouse Pokemon. It was introduced in Generation 4 in Sinnoh. Now, it is a normal type, and as typical per the games, we think of Rattata. It's like, oh, Rattata. When you start out the games in the beginning, there's always kind of a normal type that's lingering around, whether it be, Zigzagoon or whatnot. But boom, here comes Bidoof, and you're like, oh, gosh, could it be any more silly? And I know, Grace, you you reacted when I was like, let's do a Bidoof live stream. I could just hear your eyes rolling. Because, yeah, Bidoof either elicits great joy or great in people. So it's very an interesting type Pokemon. Oh, Alice, you love Rattata. Oh, that's good. Give the Rattata some love. So, friends, it's not a Shelby on Safari live stream if I don't have a quiz for you. Quiz question. While I have a sip of my Tazo passion fruit tea lemonade. It was so fun to say that. Again, not a sponsor of this program, but Tazo, I would happily help you out. The passion fruit tea has a backstory, but I'll let you guys consider the options here for Bidoof. Their weight. Notice I was very kind and gave you both pounds as well as kilograms. Bidoof, 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 Bidoof. Bidoof, yeah. That's the new phrase. So let me know. And I probably shouldn't have that because I actually love this drink, but I forgot I brushed my teeth. So it doesn't taste as good as it normally does, but I'm going to grin and bear it because my delightful husband surprised me with my passion fruit tea from Tazo. The story is in California, one of my favorite drinks that reminds me of summer at Starbucks is the passion fruit tea lemonade. And occasionally, if I'm feeling a little risky, I get a shot of raspberry syrup in there. Oh, one of my favorite drinks of all time. Reminds me of being a swim teacher because that's often what kept me going in the afternoons. And yeah, and here they didn't have it for the longest time, but he found it. And I've had a passion fruit tea lemonade 3 times today. It's been a good day. It's been a good day. All right, what are the options? Can you have it, please? Okay, that's a bit too far, Alice. For my friends, yeah, apparently stone is another measurement of weight. I didn't hear of it until I came here. I don't understand it. Apologies, Alice. Next time I will have it in stone for you. That's what Google is for. I will try to convert. There'll be a lot of numbers. It might be confusing. So we have a few A's, a couple of B's. Interesting. A nice mix there. Solid mix. Well, friends, it turns out that Bidoof weighs a whopping 44.1 pounds, which is equivalent to 20 kilograms. Whew, that's a lot of Mauis. That is certainly a lot of Mauis. Way more than I thought. I agree, friends. I thought it would be more on the B scale, but you guys are correct. It looks like Emma, which, and who else had A? Emma and Katie both had A's. Woohoo! Speaking of Emma of Studio 77, it would not be right for me not to congratulate her on her fantastic achievement. Cheers to you, matey, and congratulations on passing your huge milestone over on YouTube. If you're into sewing, which I know my friend Kathy is into, or Katie, depending on how many of the passion fruit tea lemonades I've had, she is into sewing as well. So I recommend if you are into sewing, crafting, and things like that, do check out Emma's channel. She has made a lot of adorable things over the past few months, including a shark pencil case, which was epic. But then also a nice kind of bunny bag. But then it could also be a cat. And I remember voting for the cats on behalf of all of my cats here. And they were all very offended when the rabbit won. But Grace was happy, so it worked out. But anyways, do check out Emma's channel because she's worked really hard and she's fantastic. So, friends, where were we? Bidoof and how much it weighs. Yeah, it weighs a lot. Although you could argue it's all fur, right? No, it's not. Now, the more interesting aspect of Bidoof, before we go on to what real animal is like Bidoof, I'm going to actually put this picture full screen. Prepare yourselves, friends, because it's going to be pixelated. But the reason is, if I can find my mouse, let's see, we'll make it even bigger. There we go. Bidoof is sexually dimorphic. Whew, I know, friends. This blew my mind as well. Remember back in the Magikarp episode, which I did with my buddy Choppa, I talked about the crazy thing that I found out while making the video was that Magikarp was sexually dimorphic as well with the whiskers, the barbells, where one is yellow and one is white. And I was like, what? No, this can't be real. And I looked it up in my Pokemon Go and I was like, no way, it is real. Bidoof are the same way. I know. This is crazy. And the reason why I pulled up this picture, friends, is if you check out their little tails, you can see that males have 5 round tufts of fur on their tails, whereas the females have only 3. So I don't have a little pointer here where I can't, oh, maybe you can see, can you see? Oh, you can see the mouse. How exciting. Again, Shelby learned something new on a live stream. So this little Bidoof here, you can see 1, 2, 3 little tufts of fur, but then over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so they've actually shown a mix of males and females. Isn't that cool? Oh, I was so excited when I found this out. I know it seems like silly, but it was exciting for me because, yeah, to have that much attention to detail with, sexually dimorphic kind of things. And friends, sexually dimorphic is the fancy word to say like really like visible differences between males and females. So a lot of birds are sexually dimorphic. Peacocks come to mind, where the males are the brilliant blue coloration. They have the really impressive really impressive colors, and then the females are boring, dull, brown. And you're like, oh, that's not a peacock, but it really is, kind of thing. So yeah, so the Bidoof are sexually dimorphic as well. Who knew? Now, our friend, I believe it was Crazy LV and Alice mentioned it as well about their teeth. Now, their teeth grow constantly, and they need to gnaw on things to keep them down. And so they'll gnaw on wood, whatever the case may be. They just need to gnaw on things. And that would be quite tricky as a trainer to try to constantly provide enrichment for your Bidoof so they don't gnaw on, things like your, chair or your table at home. You'll have to be on your toes with that one, guys, if you ever get real life Bidoofs. Because, yeah, they constantly gnaw on things. Now, I would like to ask, I didn't create a slide of this, friends, but I want to ask you another question to test your Pokemon knowledge. So, speaking of teeth, I want you all to think of rodent-type Pokemon, and I want to ask you, what rodent-type Pokemon has teeth that grow at the same rate as Bidoofs? So think of rodent Pokemon, and then let me know in the comments which rodent Pokemon you think their front teeth grow at the same kind of rate as Bidoofs. This is interesting because they're mirroring kind of real life rodents, where their teeth do in fact constantly grow. And that's going to be a whole other video on Shelby on Safari, because I want to talk about porcupines, capybaras, and all sorts of cool rodents in that family. But yes, let me know. Bidoof does have an adorable booty. They really do, don't they? And then good old Katie. How many tufts do you have, Bill? I think Bill would have 5 tufts of fur, but I'm not sure. But yes, let me know which rodent Pokemon. I'll give you a hint. You may or may not have brought up this rodent-type Pokemon before. As I sip my amazing tea while being regretful that I brushed my teeth. I mean, I brushed my teeth because I had just finished dinner. We had pizza, by the way. Nice stuffed crust pizza, thanks to Sainsbury. Come on, friends. You name this Pokemon already? Which rodent-type Pokemon? Think of the ones when you start the games. Yes, it's Rattata. 10 points to Slytherin for that. Yeah, so Rattata. I don't know why they talk about this in the Pokedex. But yeah, in some of the Pokedex entries, they say, oh, apparently Bidoof's front teeth grow at the same rate as Rattata's. Don't know why they throw that in there, but it's nice. Yes, a capybara. Oh, I'm excited that you're excited about capybaras, Emma. Yes, capybaras are fantastic. I love them to bits. They're so cute. And their teeth are a very interesting color, which, yes, I'll have to do a video on that, but I'll get distracted even more so. So lastly about Bidoof, before we introduce you to the real live animal counterpart of Bidoof that at least I think it is like, Bidoof also nest in groups near water. Now, when we look at Bibarel, which I was a doofus and didn't put a picture of Bibarel on there, Bibarel, whatever it does have a tail that's reminiscent of a beaver. So then it kind of makes sense that they'd want to be near water, gnawing on these and not and hanging out by bodies of water. Yeah, makes sense that they might be beavers. But as we know, I like to throw in curveball, friends, here on Shelby on Safari, and it's not going to be that straightforward. Oh, no. These Bidoof are saying it's going to be far more greater, far more detailed than that. But first, Again, here's the things. I feel really cheesy doing this. I don't like doing this. I'm going to skip through it. So, friends, I'd like to introduce you to, in part 3 of the Shelby on Safari live stream, the real life Bidoof. That's right. Now, what is this animal, you ask me? That's a very good question. This animal is the mountain beaver. Now, remember with Bidoof, friends, I said Bidoof is maybe named after Beaver / Doofus, right? And hopefully by now, yes, Bidoof does look silly. It has that blank stare in its eyes, but Bidoof knows a lot of amazing moves. As we saw with the cool event coming up, it will learn, Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball, Ice Beam. In the games, it knows Surf of all things, and it knows a lot of different moves. It comes in quite handy as a Pokemon. And while it does give the illusion of being a doofus, if trained right and given, right amount of love, it could be something rather impressive, which I think the mountain beaver resembles both in name and also how cool they are, and the variety of different things that they can do that are amazing. So the mountain beaver, its name suggests that it's a beaver that lives in the mountains, but that's not the case. The mountain beaver, it's not really associated with mountains, and it's more related to squirrels of all things. Now, we could go on and on talking about the genetic tree of the mountain beaver, which is in hot debate, but I will not go through that with you guys. But it is really worth a read. In fact, I'll put a link to some of the sources down in the description below if you're interested, just because it's still kind of ongoing. So it's not like set in stone, because they're still finding fossils. There's a few recent studies only from like 2 or 3 years ago in which they were having, scientists having a little debate through scientific journals. It was so nerdy. It was fabulous. But they're like, oh, we think it's like this. And then another, study came out and they're like, no, that's not right. It's like this. And it was just a fantastic, fun, very gentleman, very civil disagreement, which was fabulous. But anyways, the mountain beaver, more closely related to squirrels than they are actually beavers. They are found throughout the western part of the Americas, back in my home parts, from British Columbia down to northern California, although there are some kind of pocket populations in central California as well. Oh no. Oh no, what's going on in the chat? Slytherin wins the House Cup. No, that's right. Oh, I'm glad you wouldn't be mad if a Slytherin won the House Cup, because, yeah, we all know Gryffindor is going to win the House Cup at the last possible moment. For if you guys are wondering what we're referring to, there was a live stream, probably one of the most hotly contested live streams of all time, in which we discussed the Hogwarts houses in real life. And boy, was that chat on fire that evening. Nothing quite like discussing one's Hogwarts house to really get the blood boiling and the comments flowing. So the mountain beaver, I guess if we're going to talk about how they're not beavers, I should mention they are similar to beavers in the sense that they like to gnaw on bark, and they cut off tree limbs and do beavery things like that. Beavers are quite active in, the forestry kind of. They should work for the Forestry Commission if they could. I imagine the Forestry Commission people, if they had the opportunity to have real life Pokemon, they probably have Bidoofs to help them out with, chopping tree parts and things like that. But yeah, so they have some similarities in that regards, but in terms of genetics, they are more closely related to squirrels. They're actually in the group. Am I going to get to this? I want to look ahead of my notes and make sure I'm not getting ahead. Oh, I am getting ahead of myself. Never mind. We'll come back to their scientific grouping in a bit, because I want to talk about some of the cool stuff. So Bidoof has these amazing opportunities to learn skills like, Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball, Ice Beam, those really cool moves. The mountain beaver, they don't know those moves. But what they do is they're really good at digging, which ironically is an HM that you can learn in the games, in Pokemon. So they have clawed hands. I don't think I could find, actually, let's see, maybe the next picture will show their hands, because they're quite trippy. Oh, no, it doesn't. We'll go ahead. There we go. So you can see their little hand just there. Apologies, it's not zoomed in more. But look at those hands. They are perfect for digging. And the craziest thing about their cool little hands is that mountain beavers have opposable thumbs, which I was like, what? That is nuts. And as we can see by the picture, they have relatively kind of small eyes that they don't really have the best vision. Well, I should also mention their external ears. But anyways, they don't really have good vision because they are really good at digging, and that's where they hang out a lot of the time. They're underground, kind of in their burrows, doing burrowy things when they're not out gnawing on trees and things like that. So I believe someone was asking kind of about what they eat. They're herbivores, so they eat, plants and things like that. We'll get onto some specifics in just a little bit, but I want to go back to their ears because we're talking adaptations right now. So they have their clawed hands for digging, small eyes. Their ears are good at detecting air pressure air pressure changes in their burrows. So they do hang out in their burrows, and I don't know, I just think it would be I don't know how they did this study. I read it, who thought let's check out their ears and measure, their sensitivity. It's just fascinating science when it comes to things like this, especially with an animal like mountain beaver, which I don't know about you guys, but it's not one that there you are. Everybody was wondering where you were at. Come on. He's here. He's only 36 minutes late, but he's here. Did you want to say anything to anybody? No? Okay. I guess he didn't want to say anything. He just wanted to look at you. Okay, bye, Maui. Oh. I hear someone crying. It's not dinner time yet. Sorry, Maui distraction. So the ears in particular are good at detecting air pressure changes in their burrows. Now, what this means is that it could be good for the mountain beavers to detect predators or invaders into their burrows, because often or not, there are some cheeky animals, probably like Maui, who would be walking around the woods and be like, oh, there's a burrow. I'm going to go use that because it's already there and ready. Where the mountain beaver, luckily, with their ears, would be able to hear Maui coming. Anybody would be able to hear Maui coming, to be honest with you, because you can hear him going up and down the steps because he has quite the plod when he trots, and he has a strut. Anyways, I completely forgot where I was going. Got off track. Yeah, it's good. Good day. There we go. Oh, Emma says hi, Maui. Maui says hi. So they also, with regards to their digging, there's one really cool special adaptation that I want to say. I'm going to pronounce this wrong, but I had to tell you guys because I just think it's so cool that it has a name. So they have specialized digging muscles, if you will, that are kind of in their forearm area that are exceptionally big, which really resonates home just how good these guys are at digging. And that would for sure be their Pokemon moveset, would be revolving around dig when it comes to battling or anything, because they have the muscles. They're called the ulnar olecranon. I'm going to type it in the chat because I just love that. There's these crazy words. When doing this research, it's oh, this has a name. Oh, this has a name. And it's just, yeah, so that is ulnar olecranon. That muscle name just sounds impressive. So if you go to the gym and people are oh, what are you working out today? I'm working on my ulnar olecranon. They'd be what? An arms day. You can say that next time. Although I don't think you have those muscles, that muscle kind of set. But you could try saying it. It might impress the ladies. But yeah. So those muscles are exceptionally big. Now, I keep talking about how good they are at digging, but the mountain beaver has a lot more to them than just being good diggers. They're actually really good swimmers, which coincidentally enough, Bidoof knows surf. And they're also good at climbing trees, which I imagine Bidoof is quite good at as well. I don't know. I haven't seen a Bidoof climb trees, but wouldn't put it past them. They know a lot of weird moves that you wouldn't think that they would know. Maybe that's how they use Thunderbolt. They go up in the tree to get high and get closer to the thunder, and then, yeah, maybe. So like rodents, like many rodents, they do have constantly growing teeth, and it's quite important that they kind of wear them down. And again, I said that we'll go through kind of rodent teeth in a different video coming up, because it's truly fascinating just because they don't have roots like ours. And so they have to gnaw them down, or else it gets quite close to one's brain. So yeah, keep your eyes out for a future video on rodents' teeth. Woohoo, how exciting. Now, the thing that I was about to spoil and get ahead of myself with was just how unique the mountain beaver is. Now, Bidoof gets a bad rep just because they are like, oh, they're so boring, whatever, and I get it. They do look kind of dopey, doofus-like. And the mountain beaver, you might be like, oh, it's just another rodent. In fact, let's show another picture, because we've had this picture for a while. Apologies. Let's go back. Look at the little face and all his whiskers. Again, probably another great adaptation for being underground in the burrows. Those whiskers probably super sensitive to be able to sense what's going on around them. Oh, they're just so cute. Look at the little face. Oh, they're so cute. Anyways, they are, sorry, I hit the mic. They are in a league of their own, quite literally, because they are the only living member of the group of rodents in Alpo. I always throw in these fun words for me to say, and I get stage fright. I laugh awkwardly. Alplodontia. I should just say it with confidence. You guys wouldn't know the difference, right? That's what everybody says. Just say it with confidence and nobody knows. But I want to say it right. But then I say egg wrong. And then it's like, ooh, she says egg funny. Aplodontiode. Yeah. Wow. I'm going to type it again. Oh, John. Hi, John. Welcome. You've timed it just well, where I can't pronounce the name of the mountain beavers. Aplodontiode. Teodea. Yeah, I'm sure there's an easier way to pronounce that. But the important thing is, we'll call them Aplos for now. The Aplos, they're the only living member of the group Alplo. So the fossil record with this group goes back more than 40 million years, which is nuts how far back it goes, and also quite sad to think that they're the only living ones in this group. But the thing that really sets them apart from the other living rodent groups that we know of, like, the rabbits, the squirrels, beavers, things like that, they lack the complex jaw closing muscles that others have. And so that's one of the ways, the scientists have said, okay, you're kind of in a league of your own on the tree of life. And so that's quite interesting, because they still like to gnaw, talk to like beavers on things, but they just don't have the same kind of complex jaw muscle structure that beavers have. So, but they're good at other things, like digging. All right, friends. Well, here we go. Here's some history facts, because we couldn't do a Shelby on Safari live stream without sprinkling a little bit of history into the mix. Am I right? All right. So my buddies, I say that as if they're my friends, but one of my favorite well, actually, the only reason why they were able to really do anything was because Sacagawea, but some of my favorite people in history to read about, to study, that I'm just like, whoa, if I had a time machine, I'd totally go and watch this, because I wouldn't want to interfere, because that's, you don't do that. You don't mess with the time stream, is Lewis and Clark. So Lewis and Clark first mentioned the mountain beaver. This is the first record, because as we talked about, they're on the west coast of the Americas, from British Columbia down into almost parts of central California. So Lewis and Clark were the first to mention them, and they called it the Shiwala. But again, I'm going to write it down in the comments, you can see, because the word actually comes from the Chinook tribe. And the Chinook used the pelts of the mountain beavers, with for cloaks and robes and things like that to help keep warm. And yeah, I just thought that was so crazy that Lewis and Clark were the first to mention them, which totally kind of makes sense given kind of where they were from, but they called it a different name. Now, Bidoof gets called a variety of different names. It's similar to the mountain beaver. There's actually a few other kind of common names, but yeah, Shiwalal is how I believe it's supposed to be pronounced. And yeah, so they have very different names, which is so cool. Now, we had a quick quiz question about how much you guys think Bidoof weighs. Here is the adorable mountain beaver. Who do you think weighs more? Bidoof, who comes in at 20 kilograms, or the mountain beaver? Let me know. Let me know in the comments down below who you think weighs more. I'm very excited to hear. Because, like many of you, I was surprised by how much Bidoof weighs. But who weighs more? This adorable little fluffy friend. Let's show another picture. Look. Aren't they so cute? Yeah, again, those whiskers. Look at those. And the little itty bitty eyes. All right, so Alice thinks Bidoof. Ooh, is there a same choice? No, apologies. I didn't give a multiple choice. Just, is it heavier or lighter or the same as Bidoof? Which one? Who do you think weighs more? Bidoof? Mountain beaver? Maui? Maui's not gonna like me joking about his weight. Actually, Maui's gotten rather slim lately because it's summer and he's supposedly outside. Although today was my day off and Maui was home for 95% of the time. At least when I was home, he was home. So yeah. Again, weather's been gnarly. Bill said earlier that the weather was nice. John, I hope that the weather is nice where you're at. Hopefully it's sunny for you. If it is, can you send some over here to the UK? It'd be most appreciated. All right, so we got a lot of guesses for Beaver. Some for Bidoof. Oh, man. Oh, hi, Elizabeth. How exciting. Let's show your comment. John says Bidoof as well. Katie says Beaver. Oh, how exciting. It's actually Bidoof weighs the most. Because mountain beavers weigh apparently only 1 to 3 pounds. So a little baby in comparison to the big giant Bidoof who weighs 20 kilograms. Whew, a lot of difference there between the two. But again, we've seen many similarities, like they're herbivores. So the mountain beaver enjoys ferns. In particular, if you want to get specific about which ferns they prefer the sword fern or the bracken ferns. But they also would enjoy my Instagram account because of how many flowers I've posted lately. They enjoy a flower bulb. Yes, indeed, Bill, that is a high beaver to Bidoof ratio, indeed. So yes, our friend the mountain beaver has a lot of interesting taste, and flower bulbs is one of them. So I thought I'd just introduce you to the mountain beaver and say how I think it's similar to Bidoof because they're both kind of in a league of their own. I should say that Bidoof does get a bad reputation. He is mocked, but there is equally those who love Bidoof. Ironically, there's a Reddit that is all about Bidoof and saying how he's holy and he's like the Pokemon god, which I find wonderfully funny because in the generation in which he was introduced in Sinnoh, we get Arceus, which we will be getting a new game for later on this year and early next year. We'll get a remake of Diamond and Pearl as well as the new Pokemon Legends Arceus. But Arceus is, in fact, deemed to be kind of the god of the Pokemon god. But yeah, people are like, no, it's Bidoof, which is quite silly. But yeah, I think it's just so lovable to hate, but also lovable because it's so silly. So yeah, and I thought I'd introduce you guys to the mountain beaver because yeah, I think, Bidoof, and especially its evolved form, Bibarel, there are a lot of beaver influences, but I thought it'd be fun to highlight a unique species in a very special part of the world that's a little bit different. Ho-Ho, he is quite lucky. And it's funny you mentioned Ho-Oh, Alice, because right now in Pokemon Go, there's the Shadows I'm quite far behind in it because I haven't really been playing that much lately. Apologize if we're friends on Pokemon Go and you're watching this and I've been rubbish about sending gifts. But yeah, they have a Shadow Ho-Oh that's been released where you have to defeat the rockets and things like that. So if you are playing, let me know where you're at in that because I'm still waiting for Sierra and Cliff, the rocket leaders, to try to find them to then get to Giovanni. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about because you don't play Pokemon Go, but you are familiar with the Pokemon games, there is a thing in Pokemon Go where you do battle Giovanni from Team Rocket, which is always very exciting. Like the grunts and the team leaders, whatever, there's no like nostalgic there with defeating them really. But when Giovanni comes on screen, you're like, ooh, gets the heart racing. You're like, oh, I gotta beat him. It is exciting. But yeah, so that's just a quick little introduction. And by quick, I mean almost an hour, friends, of your time of going through what to expect in the Bidoof Breakout Event coming to Pokemon Go. Again, I encourage you to save your lucky eggs, really use them for when you can sit down and properly make the most out of them. As we saw, there's a 2-time catch XP for the first rough 2 days. Then for the other 2 days, it's a 3 times catch XP, and then for the final 2 days, it's 4 times catch XP. So really, really try to make the most of it, especially if you're trying to make your way through the levels. You know, use those curveballs, use those excellent throws to the best of your ability to then make sure you get the most experience points that you can. Keep an eye out for shiny Bidoof, especially if you do like to collect shiny Pokemon. But if you're not really fussed, I still encourage you to play so that way you can get the XP. We talked a bit about Bidoof and just how really their name doesn't do them justice. They are named kind of for a mix between a beaver and a doofus, but I argued that, especially because the Pokedex calls them mouse Pokemon, so a plump mouse Pokemon, and don't really think they're really beaver-like, and they're not really doofusy because they can learn so many different moves, as we'll see in the Bidoof Breakout. They can learn a variety of different moves. And then I introduce you guys to the mountain beaver at the end, an amazing animal that is neither very mountainous nor a beaver, but still really cool, exceptionally good at digging. We talked about the really cool muscle, again, another word that I couldn't pronounce. There was a lot of fun ones this video, so I thank you guys for hanging in there with me. But then also just how they're in a league of their own. They're really special and unique. You know, they are the only living members of their of the group, you know, the Alpo. And there's just so many amazing things about the mountain beaver. You know, their ears being able to sense pressure changes and whatnot. So they are pretty cool animals that I think could be like a real life Pokemon. But we have a few minutes left. I'm gonna, oh, John, thanks, John. You're so sweet. I'm going to show your comment if I can, because you're always so kind. Oh, there we go. Aw, it's nice to see you, John. You're waiting on Sierra. Oh, good luck. Gotta find her. Luckily, these ones seem to kind of go on for a while, so you can, you know, hopefully find her eventually. I think there's not been that many rockets. Earlier tonight, we were out on a walk during the Swinub, you know, spotlight hour, and there are very little rocket people out. And we went into a place where there were a lot of stops, and yet, yeah, we didn't see any. You're welcome, Alice. Oh, well, I should say this week's video, to kind of wrap up, is going to be exciting in the sense where I get to bring you out with me. As I mentioned earlier, I am celebrating the Wildlife Trust 30 Days Wild Challenge. And so on Friday's video, I'm going to bring you out as I introduce you to my top 5 favorite animals of the British Isles. It was really hard choosing 5, and I'm sure that it's going to fluctuate daily. There's a couple in there that are for sure will always be in the top 5. But I want to talk to you about some amazing animals that and I think I'm disconnected. You can't see my video. Hopefully you can see my voice. Oh, hi. So yeah, I'm going to introduce you to some of the amazing animals, and we're going to go out on an adventure to see if I can actually find my favorite animal, my favorite British species. And so you'll have to watch to the very end to see if we actually are able to find one, which is really exciting. But I'm not going to give away any spoilers because we don't do that here, especially when it comes to watching Loki. Which, by the way, if you haven't checked out that video, I encourage you to do so because I want to hear from you guys which animal you think is most like the god of mischief himself. Very similar to Loki of Asgard, we talk about the stoat, which happens to be from a very similar part of the world. I mean, they have a wide distribution, but that adds in quite nicely to Loki and his plans for world domination over Midgard. And so, yeah, is it the stoat or is it the mimic octopus? I know my friend Emma, you said it was like the mimic octopus because you're a bit biased because the mimic octopus can really, really adapt itself to look like, you know, predators of certain animals that are bugging it or whatever. They're just so clever and really good at adapting to situations, changing their form, changing their color, all sorts of stuff, just contorting their bodies in crazy ways. Very similar to Loki of Asgard, who can do, you know, the cool uses of magic to either appear as somebody different, you know, when he pretended to be Odin and, you know, had the play performing in Ragnarok. Oh, that was a really funny scene. But yeah, so hopefully you guys will check that out. In the meantime, be sure to subscribe. Again, I'm almost to 700 subscribers. I encourage you guys join the Safari so you don't miss when I do live streams like this one or plenty others. I love doing the live stream and being able to interact with you guys. But as you guys know, each and every Friday for over a year now, I've had an upload video that covers a variety of different things, not just Pokemon, but Loki, as I mentioned, sometimes going out to places, which I really hope to be able to do more often as restrictions have kind of started to lift, which is exciting. So take you to some amazing places, introduce you to some incredible animals, and just bring you along with me on the safari as we explore the amazing world of animals. And Maui often tags along, so hopefully you'll follow. If not for me, follow for Maui, because Maui merchandise is on its way soon. Well, friends, with that, it is time for me to actually go feed my little god of mischief himself. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me. It's always so fun to read the chat and get distracted by all my friends. You guys are fantastic. And the reason why I keep doing this, because you always bring a smile to my face. I hope you learned something new, whether it be about Bidoof or the mountain beaver. But I will see you all on Friday's video as we'll go out into the boonies. And I'll bring you out on run. We look for my favorite British wildlife species. Will we find it? You got to watch to find out, amigos. I'll see you there. Bye, guys.